What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live stream. My name is Toby.
My name is Heidi, and
And-
this is Crypto Tips.
Yes, this is Crypto Tips. All right, you got
Get the
that
mic
figured
in
out.
there.
All right. So, why is Bitcoin going up? Right now, possibly this has something to do with it. NASDAQ has approved Bitcoin miners ETF by Valkyrie. So I don't really care whatsoever about this because I just don't care about ETFs. They're meaningless to me. And I think the price is going to be fine without it. And I've been saying that for a long time. Actually, Heidi's been so good at showing the price that she said, here's a comment on one of our, I think one of our Patreon members, or CT Club members. You know, I've followed you for a while. I remember you calling the breakout in Bitcoin around 12,000 that set off the bull market in all of crypto. You are better than all those so-called gurus out there. Talking about gurus. Okay. There's a lot of people saying we're going to 10,000, 14,000, even 20,000, like publicly stating that. I really feel sorry for those people that were following them. And it would be one thing about them like saying, hey, you're going to probably want a DCA or dollar cost average into Bitcoin during that drop. But no, they're like, you know what? I'm selling right now, shorting it, and then I'm going to buy back later. Boy, they screwed over so many people. And these aren't just like, just random people. These are some of the most popular Twitter people and YouTubers out there. And that is really scary. I've been in this game for 9 years. I know when we should be buying, when it's okay to dollar cost average, because you know what? Nobody knows where the price is going, but you can kind of understand that if you're having the most oversold conditions we've seen in like forever, probably it's a safe bet to go ahead and purchase some Bitcoin on the way down, just like our CT Club members have been doing, along with all these other coins, and we've killed it. So awesome! I'm really happy for everybody, and we're making a difference in helping people retire. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's also a state of mind that a lot of people need to be getting used to, especially if you're new to crypto. You realize it's been around for a while. There was already a big bull run in 2017, 2018. There's already the new all-time high was in this last year to 69,000. And so entering now, there's a lot to catch up on. There's a lot to understand about the markets, about the technology behind it, the other cryptocurrencies that exist, all the personalities that are talking about cryptocurrencies, who's authentic, who's going to lead you astray. And so I can understand why people want to feel like they need to take shortcuts to catch up, to find success. And that's why we're always talking about dollar cost averaging. It's not a shortcut. It's a conservative way to accumulate a position in Bitcoin. And for those of you who are new and you don't know what dollar cost averaging is, because quite frankly, not a lot of people talk about it. Not a lot of the hype people talk about it, I'll say that, is basically you set a budget that you can easily afford that's stress-free at frequencies that are stress-free for you, whether it's weekly, monthly, whatever, and you buy Bitcoin at that day, whatever day that is, you buy Bitcoin. And it's called dollar cost averaging. You're averaging your buy-in prices. If you buy high one day, if it went lower and you buy in again, you're basically averaging those two. And over time, because Bitcoin does what it does year in, year out, it's a really good asset to do that, and a really good conservative investment strategy.
So what I've done for our CT Club members is I've pretty much held people's hands. All right. So here you go. So this is a percentage of my portfolio that I'm using on this trade. All right. And then I go ahead and purchase, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or AVAX or something, we dollar cost average. Like, okay, so I'm using 3% of my capital on this trade right here. I'm going to wait for it to go back lower, but I'm deploying capital right now, 3 or 5% or whatever. And then when I see like a big giant capitulation, that's when I go in a little bit heavier, and then I'll do another trade alert. So sometimes I'm like bugging everybody. Sorry, all my CT Club members. I know you guys say you don't mind it, but like, yeah, it's I do a lot of trade alerts when it's dropping because I want us to take advantage of that. And also I'll put up a market update as well. So telling people what my feelings are with the market, what to watch out for, because I've warned people on our CT Club of all these bears that are super popular that are saying, yeah, we could go down to 20K and whatever. And I've even had to say the name of a couple of these guys. And, you know, I hate doing it, but like, I don't want people to be led astray. This is our third bull run, and we've been through 2 bear markets, and this is not a bear market. I've been saying this since all the way down to 30,000. This is not a bear market. If you think this is a bear market, you haven't been around this space for very long. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but then it slipped my mind. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
We're 6 minutes into the live stream. I want to say hi to the people who are here in the live chat. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you guys like these live streams, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, and then you can take part in our live chat. Here, Yum Yum Glass says, oversold Bitcoin question. So should you pull your Bitcoin off of any exchanges so that you actually have it in your possession? And what happens to your investment in Bitcoin if the exchange doesn't have it? Like if they take it and run, they take your investment and run. It's definitely highly recommended that you take real ownership of any investment that you're planning to hold long term. If you're going to be holding it long term, you don't plan on trading it, day trading it, there's really no excuse for having it on a centralized exchange, especially something like Bitcoin. There's so many different wallet options that are free, hardware wallet options that aren't free but are very secure. Definitely look into how to properly and securely store your Bitcoin for yourself, for sure. W hitting us with a what's up.
BitConnect.
Crypto tips.
If you haven't been around BitConnect with a giant scam back in 2017, 2018, everybody pretty much knew it was a scam. They're just waiting for it to shut down. And it finally shut down one time, and there's big lawsuits. So yeah, these are some OGs right here.
Wait, Brenda says, hello, guys. I love the new time. I always miss the start because I have to take my grandchildren to school. How's the weather? It's been sunny and unseasonably warm here in Portugal for February, at least.
Just had some
really nice.
Epic waves, too.
Yeah,
it
Toby
was
got
so good today.
Toby's riding his adrenaline high
goodness.
into the live stream.
Jeez. I actually wanted to come in with it, I wanted to keep it at 5 o'clock, but I'm like, okay, it's really good right now. I'm going to probably cut it short. But it would have been cool in my wetsuit. I've done this before, so anyways.
From Belgium, W, thank you for that. Twin Wolf. Oh, sorry. I lost some things scrolled all the way down.
Whoa.
I see Twin Wolf, W, Roger Laundry, Archer Bullseye. Thank you for tuning in.
What's up, guys?
Archer is a great team member here at Crypto Tips. David Lynn in Peru. How's Peru doing? David, let us know. Jeremy. Okay.
Let's talk about the IMF pretty quick. Or you can say hi a little bit, but like the IMF, this is really important. What happened? What El Salvador did to the IMF? You're not going to believe it.
Well, ever since they adopted, sorry, what was that?
That was Nick.
Oh.
And what's up, Steak
Dingo.
Yeah.
Dingo ate my baby.
He's got a good staking program on for Cardano.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for a staking pool, check out
Stake Dingo. Send your
Put your link in there.
Your link in there, buddy.
Okay, so El Salvador, this is a link that was in the news today, titled El Salvador takes swipe at the IMF. President Bukele predicts huge price gains for Bitcoin. So basically, ever since El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as its official currency, or like a, what is it?
It's a reserve
currency or whatever. Their national currency is now included with Bitcoin.
Yeah. Which is great.
The IMF has basically been trying to warn them how bad of an idea that is because of the volatility of the asset and the criminal activity that often happens with Bitcoin, which in reality, it pales in comparison to what happens with the US dollar. Anyway, so basically El Salvador had to say, You know what? No international organization is going to tell us what to do, which is great. In fact, this is the actual quote. He said, "No international organization is going to make us do anything at all. Countries are sovereign nations, and they take sovereign decisions about public policy."
Good thing he doesn't have oil underground, or does he?
I was thinking that, when I was reading this,
Boy.
I wonder, maybe I'm pessimistic. I really hope nothing crazy happens with El Salvador or whatever. But most pointedly, El Salvador has their government issued Bitcoin wallet, and they've been incentivizing people to use it with like a $30 incentive. Like you get $30 worth of Bitcoin if you use their wallet. And the IMF says that the Chivo wallet holds potential, but it is of the opinion that this potential would be maximized by using the US dollar instead of Bitcoin. And then they go on to say, basically, in the near term, the actual cost of implementing the wallet exceeds the potential benefits. Again, short-term mindset, protecting their own self-interest. They're threatened, right? They're scared. And so
the IMF is definitely threatened by this because they believe that they understand that if one country disobeys the IMF and kind of blows them off, can you imagine how many other countries are actually going to do this? Because, I mean, not everybody is a bought and paid for banker shill like most other presidents out there, and so now you have somebody that's actually standing up for the IMF, and people are going to be watching from afar. Different countries are going to be watching what are going to be the repercussions of Bukele doing this. And so I'm actually really fascinated with this. But one cool thing is that what the IMF is doing indirectly is essentially creating a Streisand effect. And so what that is if countries don't know or people don't know, like, what the heck is Bitcoin, they're going to hear about it if they were like bankers or whatever, or people that are worried about what other countries that are providing or that have sanctions on them are going to be wondering, like, what is this Bitcoin thing? Like, how are they able to get away with it? And they're going to think, oh my gosh, maybe we can use Bitcoin to get around sanctions. So, the sanctions that the US puts on countless other countries around the world, this is especially monetary sanctions. This is a perfect opportunity for countries to go, screw you, US. Like, we don't need you anymore. Like, go ahead. You can do whatever you want, whether they're terrorist organizations or other organizations, whatever. Like that, this is going to open up the Pandora's box for what is actually could be the future of where sovereign nations really get involved with Bitcoin. So,
yeah. I mean, if anyone doesn't know about Bitcoin and they hear it from the IMF, it automatically, whether the IMF wants to or not, they're lending legitimacy to it because it's enough of a threat to them that they're even talking about it. If it really was nothing, if it really wasn't anything for them to worry about, it wouldn't even be coming out of their mouth.
Twin Wolf, man. I love it. IMF. Idiots mining fiat.
If you guys want to talk with Twin Wolf, he's an amazing moderator on our Discord channel. If you guys want to join our Discord channel, I highly recommend you do. Especially if you're looking for a solid community to meld with and learn from with cryptocurrencies, the Discord link is down below in the video description.
Yeah, and Juan says, Toby, I'm glad they don't have oil. LOL. He basically would, get kicked out by special forces. And that's essentially what happens. If there's a great book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I forgot who actually writes this, but it's really interesting. It really shows you what the U.S. and other major powers actually do to different countries, how they destroy their currencies, collapse their economies, and destroy people's lives. It's really interesting, and it's all true. It's pretty much out in the open for people to research. So yeah.
So again, the title of this live stream is "The Bull Run Never Ended. What's Next in 2022?" So this thing with El Salvador, I think, is one thing that we can anticipate to see more of in 2022. More El Salvador buying more Bitcoin, being more bullish on it. Also, more countries leaning that and taking that initiative as well, for sure.
And they're also going to present bonds as well, other countries as well. When they're seeing what Bitcoin is doing, they're missing out.
Yeah.
So like El Salvador had $1 billion bond? It was a $1 billion bond, and it's some of it is locked away for 5 years, and yeah, like I think that
10 million.
I could be wrong. Anyways,
a lot of money.
But yeah, a lot of money, and other people, other countries will essentially do that, and that will skyrocket the Bitcoin price.
For those of you who are also looking for other bullish categories for what's happening, what am I trying to think of?
Come on. What's going on here? On-chain analytics.
Okay, on-chain analytics proving a bullish scenario to play out with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well, because there's still definitely some correlation between Bitcoin and other cryptos. There are Bitcoin long-term holders are increasing their share of the supply as Bitcoin that has not been moved for at least 12 months keeps growing. So it doesn't mean, this isn't talking about whales. This is talking about any amount of Bitcoin that has been stored in a wallet for over a year. The people who own those Bitcoins are not moving them out of that wallet for over a year, and they're buying more Bitcoin. So they're, enacting their own little supply crunch of taking them off exchanges, not selling them, and they're putting buy pressure on the market by purchasing more. Not to mention the fact that unlike the May 2021 Bitcoin price crash, a fraction of the Bitcoin circulating supply that has not changed for at least a year is increasing, and it's reaching 60%. 60% of the circulating supply of Bitcoin is being stored in wallets that haven't moved those Bitcoin in over a year.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. Furthermore, can you guys handle this? The number of Bitcoin traders addresses holding for less than 1 month has declined by 32% since December 28th. It also mentions that medium and long-term investors who have been accumulating at recent levels are now exerting buying pressure.
What I see happening here is that you're having an effect on people's psyche. People are trusting Bitcoin more so than ever because it's out in the open. You can't hide it anymore. Everybody in the world is probably going to know what Bitcoin is within the next year or so. And, people are more comfortable putting their savings in there.
You have Fidelity saying basically the risks of Bitcoin are evaporating. And they're admitting that they bought it in 2014. Yeah. From Fidelity. That's a pretty highly reputable place for people who find that those things to be reputable.
I think Fidelity has like $4.7 trillion under their under their management. I could be wrong, but I think that's actually the number, which is huge. So that many, they're telling their clients like, hey, Bitcoin's cool. Do you know how many people are going to be onboarded? Like 2021 had 70% of all onboarding happen in 2021 in the US. In the US. And Fidelity, it's pretty much in the US.
Shout out to CryptoJub for hitting us with that knowledge.
Yes, thank you, man.
One. Tartan Shark. John Perkins is the author of Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Thank you for filling that in.
That's a great book, guys. Read it.
Gen X Jen, thank you so much for the super tip or the super chat. Doing my due diligence. What do y'all think about Ripple XRP? Could it be a big use case for banks?
I think that banks will learn from Ripple of how to create a CBDC. But as far as like if you're looking at price action, I think, once everything is cleared from I think it's the SEC. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think once everything's clear, then it should be good to go to rise. But as far as like for banks and stuff, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. I'm sure they will. And I don't see why they wouldn't use it. But I haven't really been studying too much on XRP because there's so many different coins out there that are really interesting. Like XRP is very, I would say, more centralized than a lot of different coins out there, But it is better than a CBDC, and I think it has a long way to go on the upside as well. Mm-hmm. And I think it's here to stay. It's been here since almost the beginning. So yeah, I remember back in 2013, trying to buy Ripple, and it was well under a cent, and you had to buy it. You had to go through a bank, and you had to write out a cashier's check or something to like Ripple Labs, and then they'd send you the Bitcoin or send you the Ripple once to your wallet. It was crazy what you had to do. Now you just go on an exchange and do nothing. So
some exchanges, they're not all of our listing Ripple anymore. Gizmo asked, "Do you think we get a new all-time high in a couple of months?"
I'm not going to make price predictions. I'm not stupid. No, I'm not going to make price predictions on the next couple months. You never know what's going to happen in the next couple months. But I can say in the next 5 years, 3 years, whatever, by the end of this bull market, I would expect it to go to 100K easy. So, buying it under $50,000 right now, it's a pretty good deal. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What's going on here? Sorry, I'm looking at the questions here. Where have you guys been shredding?
Shredding?
Surfing Safari.
Just Nazare.
Just Nazare.
Yeah.
A little place, little waves.
Yep.
Do you have any surf stories from today, Toby?
Well, hold on. Let me go over.
People love to hear your surf
Let me
stories.
go over this. What do you think about Quant? I think Quant's going to do fantastic. It did take a huge hit, but I do think it's going to do really good, and it definitely is in our portfolio.
Yeah. I do want to say this about Joel Johnson saying Cardano 70% out of circulation. That's not exactly right. 70% maybe is being staked. It's not out of circulation because there's no lockup period, so it could easily be liquidated instantly if people wanted to.
Yeah.
It's not really fair to say it's out of circulation.
Yeah.
It's
sure.
Still could be very liquid.
But as far as the surfing stuff, I actually put a GoPro on my board today, and so we might have some really good footage. I'll share with you.
Maybe we'll do another surfing video.
Yeah, I just have to. I haven't even seen the footage yet, but it was really big. There was some 50 something foot waves out there today. It wasn't massive, but it was enough to get the adrenaline going. And my friend saved me from going to the rocks today.
What happened?
Last second, I kicked out of the wave, and then I just see him like throwing the rescue sled.
Did you surf right on first peak?
Yeah, I did, but like this was a left, and so I kicked out, and then my friend was through the rescue sled, which is a sled to grab onto with rings on it. So I grabbed on, for him to yank me out of the way. Last second, he said the wave was about to hit us. He said, "I can't believe you didn't even feel the wave in back of you." It was a giant one, and if I had not grabbed onto that rescue sled, I would have been definitely in the rocks. So very thankful.
Shout out to Martin. Thank you so much for saving this guy.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Also,
yes.
What kind of mosquitoes do you have?
SVHO.
Oh.
Yeah, very
That's why.
Turbo ski. You need the best ski in the world for here. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. So Fidelity is doing cold storage for many institutional firms. That's really interesting. I didn't actually know that. So what cold storage is it's one of the safest ways to store Bitcoin, but I would never, ever store my Bitcoin with a third party. Like, guys, crypto is the ability, has given people the ability to take responsibility for their own coins. So that is my encouragement to all my friends, family, everybody, that I will never personally give anything to any third party. Okay, that's not a very good idea. So,
thank you, Rex.
What's up, Rex?
Crypto
Thank
for
you.
the super chat. They say, do you guys think UST is the answer to the US's anti-stablecoin crap? Seems like it might be. Do you like Anchor? See you in St. Kitts in 5 years, by the way.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll have made it to St. Kitts by then in 5 years.
Hopefully.
We've never been to St. Kitts and Nevis, but anyway.
Okay, so the UST is a decentralized stablecoin.
Yeah.
As far as like if this is the answer, I think it's a answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
It's paving the way for others to do the same.
Exactly. That's why I know you think I'm crazy for saying this, but I really hope governments still crack down on this stuff because the more that governments do crack down on this, decentralization, like the innovation in this, is going to grow to the stratosphere because people are going to desperately want to get into.
The irony is they're going to be fueling the innovation that makes their regulations redundant.
Yeah, it's kind of catch-22, buddy.
The more they try to control it, the more they're incentivizing people to make sure it's not controllable.
Yeah.
And that's the type of space that they're dealing with. That's the type of intense intelligence and
we have the smartest people in the world here
and rebels that are building the crypto space.
We definitely, the government doesn't even have a tenth of the brains that we have in this space. No, not at all. Absolutely not. I hope they just freaking go up in flames. Anyways, so with that said, Anchor Protocol is really good. I think it's gives you 19.5% API, which is massive for a stable coin. Yeah. So check it out.
We've got a deep dive on Anchor that's a long time coming that will be published very soon.
Yeah,
so
either Heidi and I will do it. I think maybe Heidi. Go for it, Heidi.
Be surprised whose face is going to show up.
Sure.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any other questions or anything else you want to talk about today, Toby?
I mean, so Bitcoin will retest. I mean, who knows? I hope it does.
Some people are saying 40,000 is the new floor, not the ceiling.
We'll see.
Instead of the $30,000 to $60,000 range, it's going to be 40.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this. Bitcoin has never gone back to its 200 moving day average, and so you have to look at it that way and go, all right, well, the last time Bitcoin dropped that much, it went from 64,000 to 28,500, and so that was a 55% drop or whatever. Now I kind of figured it's probably not going to go down to that level again. It usually doesn't. And so now we've bottomed on at 32,500 or something like that. This is in line. What if we continue to actually do this? Like we could just go up to like 72 and then back down another 50%. But man, we could really like dollar cost average amazing into that. And like, I would be excited. I'm like, geez, my Patreon or our CT Club members would love it. I mean, to have the opportunity to go ahead and keep buying down. So yeah, I think it'd be cool.
We had a question here. It was good. Desk Jockey is asking, are you libertarians?
No, I'm not a libertarian. I'm a political atheist. I
was wondering how you're going to say it.
I don't believe that politics have any room for my life. They're just a nuisance. So like my goal is to have enough money and have enough smarts
from politicians
to go around their stupid rules. I just can't stand politicians. Like anyways.
Brooke Gunderson is asking, best hardware wallet for multiple coins. Thanks. Love the show.
Ledger Nano
so glad you love the show. We use the Ledger for a lot of things.
Heidi's going to do a Trezor video very soon.
Can you tell Toby's been trying to encourage me to get that video out?
Please. Yes.
But in our past experience, in real life, we use Ledger. It's integrated with a lot of different platforms. So is Trezor. But just from personal experience and so far so good. Although Ledger Live has been crashing like crazy for me. Has Ledger Live been crashing for you guys as well?
Ledger has not been crashing. Let's get that
straight.
It's the
app. It's the application on the computer. It's not the device itself. It's nothing to do with security. Sorry, no panic, guys. Yeah. Question here from Mo. Again, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, what would happen to Bitcoin if or while Russia went to war with Ukraine? Has war ever historically affected the crypto space? Crypto has not been around that long. Quite frankly, but a lot of people
think... We've been in war since, like the U.S. has been in war since freaking 20 years.
But really.
25 years. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. I mean, I can go on and on, but yeah, like they're just going to print more currency, the guys.
But they're asking about how would Bitcoin perform during wartime. So wartime usually
Fantastic.
encourages inflation, right? The U.S. and
It's
other
risk
countries
off,
have historically gone off the gold standard during wartime, right? So then they can print more money, and then they go back to the gold standard, and then they eventually don't go back to the gold standard. Anyway, with Bitcoin having the narrative that it does for its inflation hedge, and more people are waking up to that, and then a war breaks out, if it does, with Russia and Ukraine, and they're printing like crazy, don't you think people would, oh yeah, there's that thing called Bitcoin.
Sure, but not right away. I think there would be a flight to
The USD?
the USD because that's like risk off. You know what I mean? So the stock market would probably take a little hit, but then again, it's hard to say this because like I know like the Federal Reserve has a trading desk for the stock market. So they can control what narrative they want for the stock market. So it doesn't really matter. As far as Russia and Ukraine, I mean, they're not going to blow each other up. You know what I mean? They're just not. So they have different ways. They have currency wars. They have information wars. They have digital wars. Oh, like the list goes on.
Sergio.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's at 44K now.
Yeah, Sergio, you're going to love it, buddy.
It's a good day for a live stream.
Thank you,
I've been saying it
Joel.
all day.
Joel Johnson.
Joel, thank you for your super chat too. He says, do you know much about Nervous? Not yet, but that will probably change. A lot of people are asking me about that one lately. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. I'll check that out. Nervous
okay.
now. Actually, I've heard of it.
I've heard of it too because everyone keeps asking
Dang
me
it.
about it.
What the heck?
Okay, after this one's for you.
Yeah.
Toby, after being in this space for so long, so buying in so early, how would you enter the space now, given you openly suggest your normal status previously in terms of work? I'm going to read the question.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
How would you enter the space now? Oh, okay. So, like, how would you enter it now if you were working how you did before, I guess? If it wasn't early anymore? It's still early to buy crypto, by the way.
So what I tell friends and people that you know barely know me or whatever, I go, listen, if you have a 5 to 10 year outlook on crypto, then it doesn't hurt to buy now. It doesn't hurt to start putting a little bit in right now, you know, because obviously I think like
dollar cost average. I feel like that's a good answer for everything.
It is, but also to not think, okay, I'm going to get rich quick, you know, like that's not a good attitude to have. So depending on how much money you have, if you have tons of money, then yeah, there's plenty of coins to get into. And then you can dollar cost average into that. And, you know, I help people do that on the CT Club. But if you don't have a lot, I mean, just like dollar cost average into Bitcoin and have a 5 to 10 year outlook.
Yeah. 5
to 10 years from now, if you're older,
that's the key.
Or whatever, at least have something for your grandchildren or whatever, or your kids or whatever. I mean, it's a safety net, you know, like it's better than gold. It's digital gold and it's not going anywhere. It's the most secure network in the history of the world. And it's the purest form of property rights in the world. There's nothing. You can hold $100 million in your head and travel throughout borders whenever you want, the most strict borders in the world, and nobody would even question it. They wouldn't even know how to. You can walk around and like nobody would know you have it in your head. So it's like Bitcoin's awesome. Like just amazing. Like the technology. I could go on and on about this.
We have 515 people watching us live right now. I want to say hi to each and every one of you.
Please subscribe.
If you guys are enjoying these live streams, hit the like button. Let us know.
I always forget that because I'm so excited about the subject matter that I need to actually do that, because when I do my short clips, like the 3-minute, like really quick motivational, like here's what's happening in the market, those get the least amount of like subs. So I gotta you know promote the channel a little bit, but it's not even on my mind. You know, I just want to like tell people what's on my mind.
Barry has an excellent comment that I really like. The U.S. should put $1 trillion into Bitcoin so they can get out of debt in 10 years. But they won't.
They can't get out of debt.
I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? Bitcoin dips and get into more debt? Like, that's going to happen anyway.
They wouldn't be able to get out of debt because that would crash the entire, because it's a debt-based system. So if you kill the root of your currency, you kill the currency. And that's what the US dollar is. Since 1971, they got rid of the gold standard essentially, and now it's a free-for-all. That's why you have what you call fractional reserve banking. They have a fraction of the reserve. Actually, banks don't actually have that anymore. They're going so reckless that they don't even have to have a fraction of the reserve anymore. I think that happened a couple of years ago. So really interesting stuff. I love how the banking system works, and like it really makes you appreciate what Bitcoin is. Is Toby married? Asking for a friend. Yes, I am.
Hello.
The crypto tips. Yep. Blockchain chick, if you want to check her out on Twitter.
Ew. Yeah.
I'm taken.
Aw. Oh, that's so nice. These comments are so nice, you guys, in the live chat. Thank you so much for everyone. I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining the live stream, saying hi in the live chat. Hopefully we got through quite a few of your questions.
Brad, you're funny, buddy.
Bringing them next week, every Monday, usually noon Eastern time. Again, today was a little different. Toby had to master some giants of forms of water in Nazare.
Let me end it with this. No. Mobile Sage, Moby Sage had a good, interesting one. I was actually thinking about this on the way back home from surfing today. Compare Portugal big waves to a current crypto coin and why. I think I could compare it to the entire crypto market, because the entire crypto market goes in waves, and the biggest wave in the world pretty much is what we are riding right now, and that is the crypto space. You have Bitcoin, which is the most perfect wave in the world, and it is the biggest wave, and most people haven't discovered it yet. So it's like right here in Nazareth, it was only discovered, back in 2010 or 11. And it wasn't super popular all over the world until like 2019 or something like that. So like this is how Bitcoin goes. It wasn't super popular when I first got into it. I talked to people. I was super excited and talking to people, and people thought I was a stupid idiot for what I was saying. And like literally I had nobody to talk to. There wasn't YouTube channels, there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't crypto Twitter, there wasn't anybody really. Like I had a couple of my friends that I convinced, hey, maybe this is a good idea, but they ended up selling their Bitcoin, which is freaking crazy because it was so cheap. But like that's kind of how it is. And now like I have all these people calling from, whether it's my high school that I went to, college that I went to, surf friends or whatever, like people that I haven't talked to in 20 something years, and they're calling me up and like, hey, I remember you telling me about Bitcoin, like 8 years ago or whatever, and or the people that I hadn't talked to for so long. Hey, I heard you were in Bitcoin. I saw you on the channel and stuff. It's like it's really interesting seeing the shift in society and their view on Bitcoin and the rest. And even though they asked me about different coins, like whether it's Ripple or whether it's Solana or whatever, I always try to steer them, like, hey, listen, Bitcoin and Ethereum should be number one. Ethereum, I think, is going to be the oil of the financial system. So that's why I say Ethereum number two. Everything else, go for it, whatever you want. Have some fun, NFTs, whatever. But the most important thing is that you guys do have Bitcoin. And you're probably not going to hear that from a ton of people. But, I have seen the Lindy effect take place for Bitcoin, which means the longer something has lasted, the longer something is probably going to last. So, yeah, I see that. See that definitely happen. Really quickly, and McNamara made it famous. Yes, he did. Garrett McNamara made it famous, and I remember the first conversation we had on about Bitcoin, and he yells out across. We're both driving to jet skis, and there's tons of people around. He's like, "Hey, Toby, how many Bitcoin do you have?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh." you want to tell me how much you have in your bank account, man? Like, you don't ask people that. But it's funny. He's a good guy.
How much debt do you have?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And please like, subscribe, and check us out on our CT Club if you want help with dollar cost averaging and see my portfolio and what I've actually been getting into.
Speaking of, portfolio update is coming for those of you who are CT Club members and you've been waiting.
Yeah.
You won't be having to wait long. It's coming very soon. And yeah.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye.